Okay, welcome, hello, and welcome to the 360-minute Hatha class for all levels. Today's practice, we are going to practice onto the chair. Um, just making sure if you are using the chair, allowing your feet to be rooted into the earth, pressed into the earth. That's going to bring us a strong foundation and a calmness in the mind. And then we might maybe have to take out a little excess flesh from the sit bones, if that feels good for you. You might begin to lengthen up the spine a little bit, not rounding the shoulders. We're just trying to open up. Imagine your head's being pulled up with an invisible string up to the sky. We're getting length here. All the chakras are flowing. The prana energy is moving. And we want the heart to be open. So again, we're not rounding the spine. We're also not rounding the shoulders. So we can just bring those back. Opening the heart and then softly letting them drop away from the ears. See all of this activation, all of this consciousness just in this simple seated posture. Back of the neck is long. Again, crown of the head long. You can just begin to bring the eyes down. Perhaps they feel a little heavy. You're coming within. They don't have to be completely closed, but if that feels good for you, feel free to do so. And as you begin to bring the eyes heavy or closing them and coming within, then we can do that quick body scan again, just from the crown of the head all the way down to the feet, moving at your own pace, just noticing any areas that may need a little extra love and light and breath. Noticing the sensations of your breath, noticing if the breath is moving fast, so you're getting distracted in your mind. We just accept the thoughts that run through our mind, as they tend to do so quite often throughout the day. Thousands and thousands of thoughts running through our mind. When we can take these few minutes to really slow down and notice our breath, then naturally it just begins to slow down. You may notice if you're breathing from the chest, perhaps the face is holding tension, the teeth are clenched together, tongue stuck to the roof of the mouth. Allowing everything to be soft and loose and free. Allowing as you fill up on the inhale, noticing where the breath as it moves through the nostrils and the windpipe. It's then naturally filling up the lungs and then the belly, nice and full. As we're nice and full with breath and with prana, we begin to slowly release that breath as if we're releasing the air out of the balloon. You're really allowing to slowly release. And then when you think you've released, release a little bit further. Again, as you completely release that exhale, hold for a second here. And then again, inhale, nice and full. Follow the pathway of the breath. The only way we stay in the present moment and get out of the thoughts, the mind, the past, the future, is when we can connect to our breath. And the amazing thing is that we breathe every single moment, every single day. However, we tend to not be too conscious about it in most moments. And our breath and our body are these beautiful tools that we can use. They give us signs and signals of what's going on in our body, mind, and spirit, and allow us to slow down and activate that parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest, the healing within the body. So again, as you completely release the exhale, just hold or lock that breath for a second. And then again, nice and slow, filling up. And exhale, slowly releasing the breath. We're going to really try and lengthen out that exhale longer than the inhale. So again, holding that breath for 1 second. And then as we fill up on the inhale, we're going to fill up to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the exhale, we're going to try and exhale for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 1. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Belly nice and full. Then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. It might be a little shorter, it might go a little longer. It's okay. Not struggling with the breath. Finding a nice, beautiful rhythm. Take 3 more breaths, nice and long and slow and deep. I'm not thinking too much about the counting anymore. Just allowing that to softly melt away. Again, listening to the sound of the inhale and the exhale. As we've begun to calm the body, mind, and the spirit with some simple, long, slow, deep breathing. Next, we're going to do some bee breath or buzzing, kind of like a humming sound out of our breath. When we activate that vibrational humming sound, we very much quickly activate that vagus nerve, which will bring more healing quickly into the parasympathetic nervous system. Faster, yet we don't need anything to go fast, correct? Slowness and peacefulness is what brings a lot of our healing and medicine into the body, mind, and spirit. Okay. So as you're just continuing to flow those inhales and exhales, this time on the exhale, as we're releasing out, we're going to make a sound that's going like or your choice, whether you want to make it or we're still getting that vibrational sound. If you want to do it silently in your head, it is okay as well. But just to feel those vibrations activating the vagus nerve will be quite useful and quite medicinal. So just letting out that last exhale. And then we're going to inhale. And it doesn't matter what tone the vibration is at, it's at your natural vibrational tone. Inhale. 3 more full breaths like this. More. Inhale. Final breath. Allowing those vibrations to sit in with you, allowing yourself to feel the resting posture here as the feet are rooted down. Again, still lengthening the spine and just feeling the body and mind. After we practice those long, slow, deep breaths and that bee buzzing, hopefully guiding a little bit more calmness into the body, mind, and spirit. Then we're going to start our spinal warm-up today. We're going to do everything seated. So we are going to start by bringing our arms crossed over our chest. This is our namaste. We're going to do inhale and exhale, holding for namaste. And then we're going to inhale, reach arms up wide and up overhead, almost as if you can get a little back bend if you can, if that feels good for you today. And then on the exhale, you're going to bring the right arm down and the left arm stays raised. And you're going to inhale, reach up. On the exhale, that right arm can come down towards, if you have an arm on the chair, you might have it rested here as you're getting some length up on the left side and then over. Not so much about crashing into the right. We're really trying to open up, strengthen, and get length here. And we're using the strength of this side of the body to get that stretch. And then you would come back up. And then the left arm is going to come down. Right arm reaches to the sky. You're going to inhale. And on the exhale, again, using that left side of the body as strength as we get length in the right and then coming over the right in this breath. And then we come back to center, both arms raised. Exhale, slowly bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, looking forward, neck is long. On the exhale, slowly guiding your eyes over the right. So the only thing we're twisting here is the neck, the head, the gaze. Then we come inhale back to center. Exhale, bringing that gaze over to the left side. Inhale back to center and exhale, release the arm. Take one breath here. And then we'll do 2 rounds just like this. We're going to bring our arms to namaste. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, release the arms up overhead. Again, if you need a nice little back bend, right? And then exhale, bring the right arm down, left arm stays raised. Inhale, length. Exhale, guide that left side of the body over the right, feeling the length. And then coming back to center, left arm goes down, right arm reaches to the sky. Inhale, exhale, over to the left, lengthening out the right side. Inhale, come back to center, both arms are raised. And then exhale to the hip. Inhale, gaze is forward, neck is long. Exhale, slowly guide that twist in the neck, guiding the eyes over to the right with the release of breath. Then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, slowly guiding those eyes over to the left. Neck getting a nice twist here. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, release. One breath here. Rebalancing, recentering, and one more round. Crossing arms, giving ourselves some love. A hug, inhale, exhale. And then inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, reach the right arm down, left is long. Inhale, find length. Exhale, over to the right, lengthening up the left. Inhale, come back to center. Left arm goes down. Exhale, right arm goes up. Inhale, find length, and on the exhale, guide the body over to the left, lengthening out the right side. Inhale, both arms are raised. Exhale, slowly bring them down to the hips. Again, gaze is forward, neck is long. Inhale on the exhale, slowly guiding the gaze over to the right. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, looking over to the left. Coming back to center, releasing the arm. Maybe closing the eyes, listening to a few of the breaths moving in and out of the body. Noticing perhaps how you feel now as compared to before, our spinal warm up. Noticing any beautiful sensations, perhaps areas of tension or tightness. Taking two more full breaths here. And then we'll go into our chair pose on the chair. So again, that's why we need to be able to root our feet down into the earth. So when we're rooting our feet down into the earth, they can be slightly apart. We don't want them too wide. Maybe it won't feel good if they're too close together. Sometimes the knees or the ankles can bang into each other. So giving yourself a little space here. Again, we're getting the spine nice and long. Things are activated even when it seems simple. A lot of the time, when we're just sitting in a chair, we're going to be sitting like this quite often. And so the entire purpose of the movement of the energy, the clearing of the energy, the trauma we hold within our fascia, we just want to allow ourselves to activate and open, even in these simple postures. So we press the feet down, and then the palms are going to press into the thighs. They're not pressing into the knee joints, just above the knee joints. You're pressing the hands into the thighs and the thighs into the hands. Yes? So you can kind of feel when you press the thighs into the hands, you're activating those abdominal muscles and the strengthening of the lower back. So you're just allowing yourself to feel that with a few pulses with breath. As you inhale, you can soften. As you exhale, you can press into the legs into the hands. Inhale, soften. Exhale, press the hands into the legs into the hands. Another activation here. Inhale, soften. Exhale, pressing the hands into the legs and the legs into the hands. And then slowly softening here. You're still going to continue to press the feet into the floor and the floor into the feet. Yes, but be squeezing the glute muscles slightly, pressing those feet into the earth, feeling the activation here of the quad after we did those few pulsating breaths. And then you can choose your arms. They can either come onto your hips, or you can bring them to prayer, to heart center, or you can even reach the arms up overhead. And so if the arms are reaching up overhead, we're really lengthening. If you're pressing the hands into prayer, we're really pressing the hands in towards each other, lengthening the crown of the head and opening the heart. If the hands are onto the hips, pressing the hands into the hips into the hands. Again, that activation, crown of the head being reached up to the sky. And if the arms are overhead, we're just going to hinge at the hip now, even if the hands are at prayer or at like the hip. We're going to hinge at the hip. So we're not gonna round and bend. We're gonna just use this as the hinge here. The flat back. I'll show with straight arms overhead. You go in any variation you like. Inhale, and on the exhale, again, feet into the earth, activating those glutes, hinging at the hip, and reaching long. You're activating the abdominals as you reach long. And you're finding 1% extra length here. And then where it feels like you're getting a challenge, but you can still continue to flow the breath, we're going to stay here for at least 20 seconds. So again, feeling all the areas rooted into the chair, the mat, the earth, the lengthening of the arms, the openness, yet softness. Maybe squeezing the abdominal. Holding here for 5 more seconds, but when we hold the posture, we're not holding the breath. We allow it to continue moving in and out. And then last breath, on your inhale, you can slowly come back up. If the arms are overhead or at prayer or the hips, just release them. You can even shake it out if that feels good a little bit. Get softly. And then come back into that seated resting posture. So the spine's still long, feet are still rooted, heart is still open. I want to notice the body, feel the sensation. Continue listening to the breath. It feels good allowing yourself a sigh at the end of the exhale. Sometimes we hold excess tension as we fill up on the inhale and the exhale. We can, that feels good for you. Even better when we're in the comfort of our own home. No one else knows or sees. Not that it matters. But sometimes we feel silly when we do things like this and perhaps a little bit more comfortable in your own home. Okay, so our next posture on the chair is going to be a seated forward fold. So again, the feet are going to be a little bit close together. They don't have to be pressed right together. Again, excess flesh from the sit bones, rooted down. We're going to inhale. We're going to bring the arms up overhead. And then on the exhale, like that hinge again in the hip, we're going to exhale on the hinge. And we're just going to come as far forward as we want on that exhale. Because on the inhale, we're going to have to try and come back up. Okay, so even if it's just a little inch, it's okay. So we're rooting down, lengthening, inhale on the exhale, hinging at the hip. Reaching forward with the exhale. And on the inhale, coming back up long. We'll do that 3 more rounds of breath. Exhale. Inhale, 2 more, and then we're going to fold over, turning it into more of a relaxation and lengthening posture. Exhale, reaching long, flat back. Inhale, 1 last breath. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, back up. And just bring the arms back down to rest. As if we had them up for quite some time. If it felt better and you wanted your hands behind the head, elbows open, that's also an option. Or you could even just do it with the hands on the hips or prayer, just doing the simple folding back and forth. Now we're going to go into a full seated forward fold. So just take a couple breaths here. Allowing ourselves to connect to that slow, peaceful, beautiful, feminine moon energy. After activating our sun, our masculine, our active posture. And we'll really bring some lengthening into the seated forward fold. So again, feet are rooted, sit bones rooted, spine is long. Inhale, we're going to reach up overhead again. This time on the exhale, we're going to first hinge at the hip, long, flat back. And then when you feel where you are at your maximum, you can just now allow yourself to softly melt over top of the leg. And you're letting your belly and your chest rest onto your thighs, on maybe hanging over the knee. And the arms can be either hanging like a rag doll, or you can grab onto opposite elbows, either in front of the shins or behind. You just want to kind of let the arms release and relax as you let that head hang down. So we're releasing any stress and tension in the shoulders and the neck. And if it feels good, you can even nod the head yes or nod the head no. And even though in our standing forward fold, we might get more of an opening in the back of the legs. Here we're getting a great release and relaxation and stretch into the upper spine, the neck, allowing everything to just release and relax. Taking 2 more full breaths here. And on your next inhale, you can press the hands into the knees, or just above the knees, sorry, into the side, and slowly guide up the spine. Again, using our easy seated posture as a resting pose. And just feeling the sensation, the movement of the breath after practicing our seated forward fold. Next, we're going to bring our hands to prayer. Feet are still rooted into the earth. Sit bones onto the chair. Hands to prayer to heart center. What we're going to do is a few breath works of our peripersonal space. So our peripersonal space is basically what I would say is our aura, our energy that comes out within 2 to 4 feet around us. This is our space, our protective space, our boundaries that we can protect and guide ourselves with some slow, beautiful, intentional breath. So we bring those hands to prayer. Again, spine is long. We don't have to activate the hands like we were in the last posture. They can be slightly soft, elbows melted. On the next inhale, you're going to inhale, reach out nice and wide, like you're gathering that prana, that energy around you. And then when you're full, you're going to bring hands to prayer. And on the exhale, you bring those hands from prayer overhead all the way down, slowly releasing the breath. And coming back to heart center. So again, inhale. Hands to prayer. Exhale, slowly release. Three more times. Inhale when you're ready. Nice and full. Feeling that space, that energy that's yours. Exhale, slowly guiding that breath through the physical body. 2 more full rounds. Inhale. Almost creating like this protective egg of energy around us, not allowing the negative ideas, thoughts, words, actions of others to infiltrate us today. 1 more. Inhale. Arms up overhead, hands to prayer. And exhale. Bring it back to heart center. And we keep the hands at heart center. Or you can bring the hands to the hips or let them fully release and relax. Maybe even the hands on the thighs. Taking a few breaths here. Then we're going to go into a few rounds of cat cow on the chair though. So normally we would be on our knees, our hands like a tabletop. But we're going to round and open the spine straight from here. So again, I'm going to go come to the side so you can do this. So when we inhale, we can start with our hands at prayer again. When we inhale, we're going to inhale, open. We're going to open, we're going to lengthen and open the heart. Nice back bend here. And on the exhale, we're going to bring the hands back to prayer to heart center and bring the chin into the chest. It's a little hard because I'm pressing my arm against the back of the chair. So we'll do it from the front now. We're going to inhale, open up. Expand that chest, that heart, fill with breath. And exhale. We're going to slowly, as we release the exhale, begin rounding the spine. Hands to heart center, chin to chest. Inhale, open. Exhale. Two more like this. Inhale, open. Exhale. Out. Oh, cat, sorry. Inhale, cat. Open. And exhale, cat. Quite like an angry cat while you run the spine. Now on your next inhale, you're going to open for cow. So we're opening the heart where it feels comfortable. Getting a little slight back bend with that leg. Heart is open. Neck isn't collapsing. Front of the head. Hold up. You can feel that opening. Just try to 1% more. I'm holding here for about 20 seconds. Allowing the breath to continue to flow here. Lots of space. Lots of openness here. Again, trying not to let the back of that neck collapse. And then on your next exhale, slowly releasing the breath, coming into cat, rounding the shoulders, hands to prayer, to the chest, and guiding that chin towards the chest. And really curling in, still allowing that breath to flow. Feeling the rounding and the opening of those shoulder blades. Maybe tuck the chin in a little bit further in towards the chest. Feeling a little bit extra length and opening in the top of the spine. And then when you release that last exhale, slowly coming back to inhale, lengthening the spine again. You need to shake out the arms. Feeling the sensations of the body here. I'm going to go into a simple seated twist here. So again, we're seated in our easy posture, feet pressed into the earth. Hands under the thighs. It might help us just activate the length in the spine at first. Remember, we're not holding tension in the shoulders, letting it melt away slightly. So you're going to inhale. On the exhale, you're going to take the left hand and place it onto the outside of the right knee. Your right arm can either be at the side or behind you. Inhale. And on the exhale, press that left hand into the outside of the right knee. So we're just trying to guide a twist in the center of the belly. As you slowly release the exhale, you're twisting. And then wherever you are at the end of the exhale, you inhale, find length again. And then exhale, press that left hand into the outside of the right knee and just guide that twist a little bit further. Slowly making our gaze a little bit closer to the back of the room. Again, on the inhale, find relaxation and softness. We're finding balance right in the breath-free posture. And on the exhale, we're activating and twisting. Perhaps your gaze is already at the back of the room. We'll do one last full breath. Inhale and exhale, twist. And then slowly release. Slowly release out of the twist. We never want to go right into the other side. Bring balance back into that spine. Feeling the sensations as we twist and wrung out our digestive organs in that direction. Activating our agni for better digestion. Always wanting to take care of our gut. Did you know we have more brain neurons in our gut than we actually do in our actual brain? So it's no wonder that our emotions and our diet or what we consume is all effective in the body, mind, and spirit. We're going to twist onto the other side. So now you're going to inhale. You're going to bring that right hand to the outside of the left knee. Again, the left arm can be beside you or behind you. Next inhale, you'll find length. And on the exhale, you can press that right hand into the outside of the left knee. And we're getting a slight twist here at first, moving our gaze slowly towards the back of the room with each exhale. On each inhale, we soften where we are, fill with breath. And exhale, we press and we twist a little bit further. Bringing it out, twisting it out in the other direction. Inhale. Length, softness, breath. Exhale, activate as we release the breath and twist. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then slowly at the end of that exhale, releasing the breath and coming back to center. Here we can either stay in seated. I'm going to be guiding you through a meditation now. Breath work. If you want to lie in Shavasana or you want to lie in your chair, you could long. So allowing that spine to be open, the body to be restful and grounded. Or if you just want to relax and rest in the chair, still seated, also an option. Allowing yourself to bring softness into the mind, into the facial muscles. Feeling the heat in the body that we activated through this beautiful Hatha practice today. Feeling the body safe and secure in its strong foundation wherever it is. Realizing our body is part of our foundation, our safety net. We really want to connect and understand our body. It gives us so many signs and signals. We can just take a few quiet moments in the day to listen to it and actually figure out our own Ayurveda, our own science of life. The answers are all within. So just allowing the body to melt and relax and release wherever you are in the chair, lying in the mat, maybe even lying in the bed, or seated. Noticing if your breath changed the qualities from the beginning of our practice to the end. Quick body scan from the crown of the head, down through the head and the neck, the shoulders, the chest, shoulder blade, the upper arm, elbow, forearm, hand. Noticing sensations in the rib cage, the belly, mid and lower back. To the hip, and the bum, the thigh, quadriceps and the hamstring. Sensations we have in the knee, breathing some love into all sides of it. And into the calves and the shins, and finally into the feet. Guiding a few extra breaths anywhere that may feel they need a little extra love today. And coming back into the area of the heart, just below the heart, actually, and just above the belly button. Into our Manipura center, our fire. This is our strength and our belief in ourselves. You can imagine when the fire becomes out of control, like a forest fire that can't be put out. You can have feelings of aggression, ego being very large, competition, unhealthy, driven competition. Same goes as if our fire has become weak. It almost feels as our fire has gone out. We have feelings of not believing in ourselves, not walking in our true path, what makes us up. But realizing that our fire can never go out, it's always within us. So you can imagine a small flame of a candle burning here beautifully as we breathe into the center. And as you continue to breathe, this light is going to continue to grow within you. The light is going to expand with each inhale. Each time we fill the body with oxygen, with breath and life force energy, the candle flame begins to grow even stronger within. Now filling up the entire middle of the body, spilling out into the arms, and the legs, and up the neck. Again, remembering each inhale, that light begins, continues to expand, filling up into the tips of the fingers and the toes, filling up the entire head. The entire physical body is filled with light. Still breathing, the light is still expanding, and it now begins to spill out of our physical body, connecting to the object and location where we are. Filling up the room where we're seated or lying. Light swirling around. You may notice if there's a color to your light, or a warmth, or a movement, perhaps it's spiraling in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction. Not thinking too much about it, just allowing yourself to observe these things as the light continues to grow. So now it's expanded so far into the physical room where we are, it begins to spill out even further into the town or city where we live, touching all the streets and the trees and the buildings and the sky. And that light continues to grow and expand out from the city where you are, perhaps the district or the province or the state where you're located. That light is getting so full and it's so bright here. It continues to expand out of this area and into the entire planet Earth. All surrounding bodies of water, masses of land, the air, the animals, flowers. And our light has filled the entire of Mother Earth. It continues to expand with our breath. And now our light is filled out into the entire universe. Our light is connecting to all the planets dimension, star. And then our breath continues to expand into almost an immeasurable, unbelievable beam of light. This is our Atman, our God, our Brahman. This is our microcosm and the macrocosm. Just realizing here that we are all one. We are all connected. When we breathe, the stars breathe. When we feel, the stars feel. When we cry, the earth cries. Feeling that beautiful connection to everything. Realizing how really like super powerful we are. How we have the ability to control ourselves in each situation rather than losing control in the chaos. Just take moments of beauty to realize that we can take that control to slow down. And realize most things that we get out of control about are really nothing at all. Using that sympathetic nervous system or that fight and flight when we need it. When our body and our mind truly needs the survival. Instead, allowing ourselves some more softness, relaxation, and love for ourselves. So now we're in that immeasurable beam of connected light of all of us, and we're going to bring it back within us now. So that light comes back out and spills into the universe, all the planets and the galaxies. The light is coming back towards planet Earth. And slowly making its way back into the province or state or district that you are. The light is coming back to the town or city or village where you're located. Slowly that light creeping back into the room where you're located and practicing today. Feeling that light again, perhaps it's swirling around. Perhaps it has sensations of warmth or cold or colors of light. And then slowly allowing that light to come back within the physical body. And feel it nice and full all the way to the tips of the fingers and the toes and the head. And that light is coming back towards that Manipura center just below the rib cage above the belly button. Noticing our beautiful flame of a candle burning bright and allowing us to connect to it whenever it feels necessary by connecting to our breath and slowing down, finding the peace amongst the chaos. And then if you're lying down or if you're seated, you can begin to bring some small movements back into the body. You might wiggle the fingers and the toes, or maybe some wrist and ankle circles, perhaps in both directions. And then you might reach the arms and legs out long, stretch like you're waking up first thing in the morning. If you're lying down, you might roll over to the fetal position for a couple more breaths. And just slowly use your hand to press yourself back up into seated. Hopefully allowing that peacefulness and that light to guide you for the rest of your day. Thank you so much for sharing in energy and space. And may the light and love within me shine and connect to the light and love within you. Namaste. Or so much. Much love.